What's up, my fellow scruffy looking nerf herders, and welcome to the Carbonite Chat. Today we're going to be talking about another fan film. This one is a very humorous one. It reminds me a lot of two different things. The comics Tag and Binks, which if you haven't read that, it's quite hilarious. I'll probably be covering that in the next few days, sometime this week probably. It's a very funny little comedy kind of, crazy comic where these two characters are always kind of in the middle of big circumstances and they're doing this stuff and they have no clue what's going on in the galaxy as a whole, but always kind of seem to be a part of it. And then the other kind of connection for obviously a humorous fan film of Star Wars is Spaceballs, and they definitely took a big kind of idea or kind of a stab at doing a YouTube version of Spaceballs. Obviously it's not quite Spaceballs, but it is quite funny. This one follows three TIE fighter pilots. You've got Ringworm, Measles, and what's the other one? I never remember all of their names. Ringworm, Measles, Jock Itch. Ringworm, Measles, and Jock Itch. And it starts out and it's what you think is the Battle of Yavin. First off, go ahead and watch it. It will be linked down below. It's quite funny. There are some times that it lulls along, but if you're a Star Wars fan, there's enough really bad yet funny because they're so bad humor, lines, quotes, just kind of throwing in stuff that Star Wars fans will enjoy. And it's very well done from a special effects side, from the CGI side. Some of the acting, some of the fight choreography is bad, but it's bad to be bad. It's on purpose. It's to be funny. And it's a really bad film because it's trying to be that way. Like, it's trying to be funny. And it's got some pretty bad accents at some points. And it even ends with purposefully done bad accents. So watch all the way through the credits once it's over, because it is kind of funny through there. There's not really that much of a story through there. I mean, you could pick out that there's a story, but really it's just trying to find excuse after excuse to get to the next joke. Sometimes it takes a little while to get to the next joke, but I mean, I laughed out loud quite a few times in there, and it's definitely worth a watch. It's got some good humor. It's got some nice little, as I said, Spaceball-y references in through there. It starts out like it's the Battle of Yavin, and then it's them three kind of bickering back and forth, and then one of them's trying to fire on the X-Wing, and then they are the ones that actually end up blowing up the Death Star by accident. But then, of course, you find out they're just in a simulation. And then it kind of goes to their normal day. They go to get lunch, and they drive by one of them flies by a McVader, a KFC, which is Kashyyyk Furry Cookies, and then they go to Tashi Station, which would have been my choice, where you could get Tashi tacos, you could get Bantha burritos, and stuff happens, and it ends up where they kind of get in this run-in, and they get this Mexican droid that they get brought with them, and then he falls in love with this pink droid, and that's kind of funny. It has some little anatomical humor in there. And I mean, overall, it's a pretty fun film. Again, there's just so many references that I think most people that are Star Wars fans will enjoy. Outside of that, there's brilliant CGI. I think it was pretty well written for what it was trying to be, which is definitely, I heard someone say one time where it was like, you would be surprised how talented you gotta be to write something so dumb. And it kind of seems like that was what it was, that the writers are actually quite talented to pull off something as dumb as this is, but to pull it off to where you're still entertained while it's going on. And that's, surprisingly enough, it is a skill. And that's kind of what Spaceballs is kind of all about. And I think this is a nice little YouTube-y version of Spaceballs that, as long as you understand, other Star Wars fan films are a fan film in comparison to Star Wars, this is a fan film of Spaceballs. in comparison to Spaceballs. It's a fun ride. It's worth watching. I think you will enjoy it. There's just not as much to cover, but I did want to bring this up. I did want to discuss it. It's worth people seeing. It's only got like 300,000 views on it, which is a shame. I've seen a lot of other videos, fan films, that are not anywhere near good. Much less having some of the technical aspects as done as well as this one is, that have millions of views. And it's just, it's a shame. This came out the day Force Awakens came out. So this has been out a while. And it just doesn't have that many views. And I don't get it. So go watch it. It's very much worth a watch. Enjoy it. Look forward to hearing what some of you think is the funniest parts for you. I love the ending. Well, it's not quite the very end, where they're mocking the medal ceremony, but instead of obviously getting medals, they're getting their orders from Tashi Station. I thought that was brilliant. I love that scene, and the second it came in, they got the guys playing. That was great. I really enjoyed that. Again, there was probably about at the 10-minute mark, I went for quite a little while where I almost stopped it. I almost stopped it and said, hey, just watch the first 10 minutes. It's pretty funny. But then it started to pick up a little bit again. And again, I look forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions. I hope you end up enjoying it. I think it's a fun little thing that you can watch if you've got time. I mean, again, this is a little bit on the longer side for what it is, and it's 30 minutes. But again, as I said, if you like Spaceballs, go ahead and watch it, because it will be very much enjoyable. If you like kind of there's quite a few of these fan films that are kind of like the back and forth of kind of the nobody characters. If you're into that, you will enjoy this as well. This isn't my typical when I break down a fan film, the more kind of trying to find I'm a little more on the Oscar-y side of things. But this was enjoyable. And if I enjoyed it, then I imagine a lot of people will, because it's not my type of thing. But anyways, enough rambling. Thank you very much for watching. And never forget, you nerf herders, I love you.